Okay, good morning everyone, and okay, so let's start. Okay, and first of all, we are very welcome of a group with Professor Dai Nomiya, and all the students come from the Cho University. And let me introduce our professor of our School of Sociology and Political Science. And first of all, our Vice Dean Yuan Hao, and our Dr. Chen Meng, Wang Shuping, and Professor Zhang Haidong, Professor Lu Xiaochong, and Dr. Ma Lei, and also our student field staff, Liu Jiaolei and Liu Lu. You have met at the last evening, so they organize the tea break and all the schedules. Okay, first of all, let's welcome our Vice Dean of School of Sociology and Political Science, Dr. Yuan Hao, to introduce and give us a brief welcome. Yeah.
First of all, I want to welcome all of you. This I think it's the first time I met so many Japanese students, and so I'm very happy to have you here. Yeah, and actually, our school has many connections with Japanese universities. And first of all, I met Nomiya many times, and we had a very good time before. And also here we have many professors actually graduated from Japan. So. Later, maybe our professors will introduce themselves, and then you will know many stories of them in Japan. So I think we are connected very well. So it's the first thing I want to say, and second, then I would say it's a very good beginning for all of us to establish the connections between the Cho University and the Shanghai University, and I don't know if it is correct or not. Okay, yeah, actually, I learned Japanese many years ago, but very beginning never. So sorry. And of course, later I want to say. We want to continue these connections and continue this relationship. So welcome, and I hope all of you have a very good time in Shanghai and in Shanghai University. Thank you.
I have to mention that, such as our Vice Dean Yuan Hao says, our professor Lu Xiaochong is graduated from Japan's University.
Which one?
Yeah. 陆老师哪个学校？
日本スポーツ大学。日体大なんです。
So, and also our Dr. Wang Shuping have just visited Japan, and our Dr. Chen Meng just have a very strong connection with research, and they always co-workers with Nomiya and our school's research group. And also today, our students from our school and also attend this our conference, and they will join the comments, and maybe will join the days left you were in Shanghai. They will be the tours. They will be the volunteers. So, and also today our professor and the faculty and they will give a very short comment of your PowerPoint presentation. So how about we just start, because there are 6 presentation here. So let's welcome the first group. Okay. Let me check. If you have any file, just update, you can just put inside. Well, this is okay. This is okay for you. So just stop. Okay. Let's welcome the first group. The topic is homeless program. Wait. Okay, let's welcome the first group. Okay.
Hello everyone. It's great honor to be given this opportunity to present here. I am Remi Sonobe. I am a first year student majoring in philosophy.
Hello everyone. I'm Kante Kimura. I'm first year student and majoring in sociology.
Hello everyone, my name is Daichi Matsumoto. I'm first year student. I major in German.
Hello everyone, I'm Yuki Kobayashi. I major in international economics and I'm second grade.
Today, we would like to talk about the problem of homeless in Tokyo. The homeless are the people who live in the street or who live on the street without home. In Tokyo, there are a lot of homeless. Please look at this one. There are homeless everywhere in Shinjuku, Shibuya, and so on. Then we have a question. Why do people become homeless? Why do some people become homeless? Previous studies have found 2 different factors. One of personal factors and the other is social factors. First, personal factors are age and health. The older they become, the harder they get a job. People who have disabilities have a tendency to become homeless. Second, social factors are welfare and recession. They become homeless because of high difficulty of receiving welfare protection. They become homeless because of unemployment. Those three are the reasons. Also, previous studies have found the reasons why the number of homeless does not decrease. Why does not the number of homeless decrease? In previous studies, three reasons there are. First, returning to the street. Second, no legal enforcement. And third, homeless life is better. The homeless return to the street because relationships in apartments or facilities do not go well. In Japan, there are policies to help them. However, it does not have a mandatory power to bring them to facilities with a roof. The homeless think the homeless life is better because it is no stress. It's an easygoing life. Those three are reasons why the number of homeless does not decrease. In previous page, I mentioned the three reasons. We are especially interested in one of those reasons. That is, returning to the street. We are also think it is better to live a life under the roof because it is safety and security. If they live in the street, they get wet when it rains. It is colder in winter. It is very hot in summer. Why do they return to the street then? Therefore, we decided to focus on why the homeless return to the street.
Why homeless people return to the street? We interview survey ourselves. We interviewed 4 NGO groups from November to February. We asked 2 questions. Those questions are why homeless people return to the street and why they escape from roofed facility. Next, I will go to result. First, we interviewed NGO group and I talk about what staff member said to us. Staff member said there are 4 reasons to return to the street: poverty, business, human relation, lack of knowledge case workers, fear of being identified. First, poverty business. Poverty business is a business that targets homeless people. They exploit money from homeless people by putting them in the small congested house. In poverty business, homeless people have to live with strangers in the limited place. Second, lack of knowledge of case workers. Case workers often don't know the reality of homeless people and provide support to homeless people. Third, human relation. Long homeless life make it difficult for homeless people to communicate with non-homeless people. So even if homeless people live in apartment, they cannot communicate with others. So homeless people feel lonely. And fourth, fear of being identified. Homeless people often have trouble with their family. So they don't want to be identified. But when they apply for welfare protection, they must be identified. So they can apply for welfare protection. And next, we interviewed NGO group H. Staff member H said there are 3 reasons to return to the street: poverty business, human relation, and lack of governmental support. I have already talked about poverty business, then I skip poverty business. And next, human relation. They can get used to group home life. And next, lack of governmental support. There is not enough governmental support for homeless people to live independently.
Next, let's move on. NGO named T. We talk with staff member who was a homeless before. In the same way, we ask reason for returning to the street. Staff member mentioned 5 factors: human relations, the gap between living on the street and under the roof, health, poverty business, aging. First, about human relations. When receiving the assistance, homeless people don't adapt to new environment and they feel lonely. As a result, they return to the street. Second, about the gap between living in the street and under the roof. People who are homeless feel uncomfortable surrounded by wall and ceiling. As a result, they go out of the apartment. Third, about health. Oftentimes, homeless people have a chronic health program so that they can't work to earn money. So their money is gone and they return to the street. Fourth, about poverty business. Poverty business is not helping the homeless people. Houses provided by poverty business is shabby and dirty. So then, homeless people think street life is better. Fifth, about aging. people are getting older. It is difficult for elderly homeless to create new life rhythm. Even if they receive support, they will come back on the street. Next, let me talk about NGO named S. Staff member says that homeless people may go in the apartment, but they easily escape from apartment. There are two reasons to this. First is lack of governmental care. Second is lack of communication skills. Government often put homeless in the apartment, but they does not do anything also. Homeless people left alone. They don't know how to behave in the apartment and in the neighborhood. Next, I would like to look at lack of communication skills. Homeless people live in the street for a long time, so that means they seldom communicate with other people. And so accordingly, they can't communicate residents around them well. We also had a chance to communicate, to interview with former homeless people. First, former homeless people named A try to get job again and again to break away from life on the street. But they quit his job because of trouble he had in the workplace. Second, former homeless people named B got in trap with poverty business. He can't endure rough environment. As a result, they return to the street.
So next, we surveyed the cause of returning to life on the street through interviewing NGO organization staffs and DX homeless. So let me sum up the contents of survey. There are two reasons causing returning to the streets. The first reason is personal factors. The personal factors are human relationships and health, aging, and lack of communication skills, and gap between life on the street and the life without roof. The second reason is social factors. Social factors are poverty business, and lack of governmental support, and the lack of knowledge of caseworkers. So what is the most important factors of returning to the streets? We think human relationships, poverty business, and the lack of support measures are important factors. First, human relationships have two aspects. The first aspect is difficulty of human relationships when they work homeless. The second aspect is community life in facilities or apartments do not work well. The reason why human relationships are not good is due to the lack of their own communication skills. Second, the poverty business is a business providing facilities where the homeless live. It exploits the most of welfare pensions that they should receive, and it prevents homeless people to be independent. Because of the poverty business, the homeless cannot be independent and cannot stay in a house provided from the poverty business, and they return to the streets. Third, if there is a governmental support that would help homeless people to get along with the neighbors, then they should be able to stay in the community comfortably. But in reality, they do not have governmental support. I'd like to conclude our research presentation. Our question is, why do homeless return to the streets? In response to this question, we think the human relationships, poverty business, and the lack of governmental support are the biggest causes. Because of three factors, the homeless think it is better to live in the streets than stay in the facilities or group houses. As these result, we think that the homeless return to the streets. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.
We will have a comment from our professors. And Professor Nomiya will something say.
Well, thank you so much for everyone coming over here today in this room. And actually, I should have given you just a little bit of introduction to the students from Japan. And most of them are freshmen and sophomores. And they haven't actually studied sociology as a major yet. And again, the majority, most of them, this is their first trial to present their own work in English too. So they may make, oftentimes I would think that some portions of the presentation they're going to give you today are not very clear, but I would like to ask your understanding of that. So thank you.
First, I'd like to say you work very hard and give us a very experienced presentation. After listening to your presentation, I have some questions I want to know. First of all, you told us in Tokyo, many homeless. But I really want to know how much the population, how many, the number of the homeless. Do you have the concept? Okay, as I know, in Japan there are many homeless ones. I don't know which year I visited Fukuoka. Yeah, Fukuoka. There is a subway station. I remember the name is Hakata. Hakata. I don't know. And there, after dinner, I took too much with the Korean professors, and we have to go to the hotel through the station. I found that there are many homeless sleep there after midnight. Many, I don't know, more than 500 people. There are women with their children and old couples. But second in the morning, I get very early. I just want to know what will happen. They disappear completely. So that's the first impression to homeless in Japan. Anyway, in China we also have homeless, but that's a very different situation. Also, last year we visited America. Professor Chen maybe know in Denver. There are many homeless there. In the city center, there is a square. There are homeless gathering there. I was there Saturday, and
there are many social organizations who provide help for the homeless. We can get free food and free clothes, everything. So some American friends told me, well, this in December is very cold in them, but they don't want to move to other places from why they continue to stay there, because they are the organization provide their help. They can easily get free food and clothes, even shelter, living. So I want to know how about